I can. How do I pronounce your first name? What do you got for me?
Um,
Well, first off, how old are you?
okay, so
How old are you?
I'm 28.
All right. So, modern women, do you know or do you understand modern men?
From watching your live, no, I didn't. I don't. From now that you put me in a perspective, you gave me a perspective that I didn't think about.
What
I
did
think
you what
the
what
average,
what sparked that in you? What made you what in my video made you
just
realize
me
you didn't?
thinking that I know what average men make, and it wasn't that. So it's like, okay, like you said, respecting the hierarchy of men, um, and all that. Like just
Where do you
open
live?
my eyes to some things. Where have I been?
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Oh, in Atlanta.
Okay. So what did you think men made?
Honestly, I
Yeah.
was in like the 80 to 100,000 range.
Okay. Um
Just
and
like
you're
I
28.
understand that.
You're 28.
Yes,
What do you do for a living?
assistant property manager.
Like an apartment or something like that?
Hmm.
All right. So, do you make more than $75,000 a year?
No,
Okay. Do you make more than $50,000 a year?
just around 50 with commission, but before commission, no.
All right. So, and there are people who come in to rent at your property who can't qualify because they don't make enough money.
Hmm.
You have to
Or they
make
have no
what, three and a
business.
half times the rent or something like that?
Exactly.
All right. How long you been at the apartment?
This one, um, probably like 3 months.
What have you been doing this business for a while?
Not a while, probably a little over a year.
All right. So if you know you've seen applicants who can't make enough money to pay the rent, how does it get in your mind that most men who would be applicants to make 80 to 100?
I never really thought about it. Like I know what I deal with,
Okay.
and obviously,
What does that mean?
I never really gave it any thought.
What do you mean what you deal with? The kind of men you deal with?
Yes.
Um, the kind of men you date?
Yeah.
Do you have any children?
I have two daughters.
By the same father?
No.
No. What do their fathers do for a living?
Ooh, one is a trader. My oldest, he
He's a
trade
what? A trainer?
trader. Like he trades, online. He's get into that for a while.
Okay, does he do that independently, like, or does he work for a brokerage house?
Honestly, I don't. I'm not sure. I think it's independent. I'm pretty sure it's
Does he
independent.
put on a suit and go downtown?
No.
He does it from home.
Say it again.
He does it from home.
Hmm.
All right. So he's not a that's but there's a difference. And what does the other one do?
That one, he's a career criminal.
Oh, okay.
That's what he likes to call himself.
All right. Did you know about that before you had a kid?
Briefly, I'm sorry, my best friend is doing the most. Briefly, that happened. That's a whole nother story. That it just was. I met him and 30 days later I was pregnant, and here we are with a 1 year old.
Okay. And you married either one of and you didn't marry these guys, but why?
Um, the first one, I moved down here, and we were supposed to move together. He decided he wanted to stay. I'm from Rochester. He decided he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to stay, so that broke that up. This one, he wanted to marry me, but I just seen it was too much going on, so
Okay,
I
so
just
ma'am, did you graduate? You graduated high school? Did you go to college?
a little bit here
So
in
basically, you have a high school diploma, right?
Georgia.
Here comes a hard question. If you lost the job at apartment managing or whatever, what skills do you have to make earn a living in this economy?
So I can do real estate. I can go find me a broker, work for that
What do you
broker.
mean do real estate?
I went to Georgia MLS to get my
Okay.
real estate.
So you can sell.
Yes.
Okay. Which, no disrespect, still a lot of people have the MLS.
Hmm.
Like most people, sound like you have a job. No offense, you have a job.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's no.
and
I,
and the
I
thing
honestly.
is, but most people are like you, and to you, it caught you at 28 years old, two kids into it, that you had a baby with a guy who identifies himself as a career criminal, and another guy who's an independent broker. Um, and I'm just trying to, and it's almost like so many of our women are just living in a fantasy world where it's all like a joke.
Hmm.
Because I say this because it doesn't sound like you're going to marry either one of these men.
No,
All right. Do you ever want to have any more children?
I do.
Do you want to have those in the context of a marriage?
Yes,
Then that's going to present some challenges.
I agree. But one thing I also agree with you is just like, there's people that are trying and striving to become the best versions of themselves. So
What does that mean
I
for a
want
man?
to be, for me,
From a man's standpoint, because uh, trying to become the best version of yourself is great. I believe in that, but when you two kids by two different men into it, you're not looking for a husband. You're looking for a stepfather. That's what his job would be, stepfather.
well,
No, ma'am, that's what his job would be.
all right, okay.
And I'm saying that because we need to start redefining things. A single woman with no children is looking for a husband. A woman with children is looking for a stepfather because
Okay.
that's what he would be. He would
Yeah.
have to provide for you and the children that come along with you.
Hmm.
That's a stepfather.
Hmm.
All right. And you got to ask. And the thing is, it seems like if you don't understand who men are, how you going to get a man to want to be a stepfather? Because most men don't want that.
Are we talking about a man with no kids?
We talk about men in general.
Both.
Most men don't want kids, don't want women with kids.
Yes.
51% of black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. So 28 years old, unfortunately, this happens far too often. It is the numbers of working black men and working black women are nearly 1 to 1. But when you add one more factor, working black men with no children, it is far more likely that working black man with no children is going to run into a working black woman with children. And they're not marrying. And why I'm using this as an example is because it seems to me that you ladies, far too many women go out and lead their lives, do what they want to, have children indiscriminately with men that they're not the most proud of, and then somewhere around their 30s decide they want to quote unquote settle down, and they think that some guy should come along and take all that on. That's unfair. And it makes sense to me what you said earlier, that you thought most men made between 80 or 100, because if you're a woman thinking that, well, one day I'll find me a husband, I'll be picking for men who can afford to take care of me and my two kids and any other children. But if you meet a man who's making the median salary of what black men are making in this country is what, $41,000? What is $41,000 going to do, median income, for between you, him, your two kids, and another child? That don't go a long way, right?
Hmm.
That's why I say women need to start understanding who men are and what we want. So thank you for at least being honest, but um I'm going to go on to some other callers. You can hang in the call queue. Okay. All right. Thanks.
sorry, but I had to pause it right here, man. I could not contain myself. See, the thing is this. So this modern black woman is saying that she just had her kids, or has a child, and she's in college. And the most thing is this. With modern black women, the thing is this. The problem with them is whenever they have children, they don't think of how will this affect my future. Should I actually immediately try to fix this so my future isn't ruined? My later life, my dating life isn't ruined. That my life in general isn't ruined. Because the black women are so glad whenever they find out that they're pregnant with a boy or a girl. But the thing is this. Literally 80% of the time, black children grow up in a house without their father. So 80% of that chance is this. She's going to be raising a boy or girl, a son or a daughter in the household without a father. So most modern women and modern black women especially they don't create children out of love and family. They create children out of lust. It is pure lust. It is not, it's a momentary love feeling. That's the problem. They got so in tune with each other to the fact where they couldn't help themselves, so they had to have a baby. But the problem is this: the father doesn't want to take care of that baby for any amount of reasons, for the whole list of reasons why he wouldn't want to take care of that child, even if it's his. But the black woman still chooses that man as their child's father. Yeah, they choose like a gangbanger, or someone who obviously doesn't have the time for them, or someone who just isn't in the right space to be having a family with. And then when they have the child with him, which they had the control over, they could have chosen if they wanted to keep the child or they wanted to abort the baby. But whenever they carry the child into this world, they complain about the black men that they laid down with and had their children with, even though they knew from the start that this man was not a family man, not a man who could raise a family.